I want to welcome all of you to the web-based presentation of the Introduction to Sociology. That's Soc 101. My name is Bill Galic, and I'll be your instructor throughout the semester for this course. This particular web-based class is an asynchronous course, and what that means is that this work will be done on your own time, essentially, that we have no set schedule of meetings between myself and the students in the class, or any of you. If during the course of the semester you feel that you need to talk with me or to have office hours, more or less, as though if I were in the physical university and you wanted to drop by my office, just let me know on email, and we can set up a meeting. Actually, if you're in Kenai, I can actually arrange to meet you at the Kenai campus, or we can also set up a conference in the eLive environment where we can communicate with each other on headsets with a whiteboard in front of us and those kinds of things. Likewise, as you begin to work on group projects and those kinds of things, should you wish to invite me to talk with your group about what you're doing and answer any questions or problems that you might have, just please let me know. I do want to be accessible to you, but in any event, while this course is one that will be done kind of as you decide when you want to work the course, I want to caution you from the beginning that it's very important for you to keep up with the assignments week by week by week by week. If you fail to do that, you'll find yourself falling behind, and it's going to become very difficult for you to catch up. This is not a class where you can wait 7 or 8 weeks and then decide to pour on all the attention and devote your life to the class in order to catch up. This is something where you really do have to parcel out and schedule your time so that you stay tuned into what's going on in the class and can participate in discussions and those kinds of things throughout the semester. Again, my name is Bill Galic. Those letters after my name stand for Licensed Clinical Social Worker. If you look in the instructor information page in the Blackboard course, you'll find a little bit more about me, but I have a master's degree in social work and have practiced in the social work field for almost 40 years now. Most of my career has been focused upon children and families. Well, really, the entire career has been focused on working with children and families, and a more particular focus on dependent children, that is, children that have been involved in the juvenile court system because of parental maltreatment, child abuse and neglect, those kinds of things. But I've also worked as an outpatient therapist at the mental health center and have worked in some public assistance programs as well, and in residential treatment and the care of dependent children in residential care. Currently, my job is during the day, my full-time job is to be the supervisor of the initial assessment unit in the Kenai Child Protection Office. This is basically the unit that does the investigations when new complaints of child abuse and neglect are received in our area. In addition to that full-time job, of course, I'm teaching largely through the Kenai Peninsula College, but also through the University of Alaska School of Social Work. And this semester I'm teaching 2 courses online. At other times I've taught a combination of online or face-to-face classes on the Kenai campus. Should you wish to reach me, these are a couple of email addresses for you to contact me at. And actually, I think my university email address has changed now to wfgalic@kpc.alaska.edu. I think they've done away with the IFs and all of those kinds of things. So if for whatever reason you try to reach me through the university and you get a return, try my first and middle initial and last name in that. Otherwise, my home email address is an email address that only I check, and the university, because of the FERPA rules and privacy rules, really prefer for us to communicate through the university email system. But I'm just telling you that you can also feel comfortable in communicating with me at my home email address, because it's really only checked by me. No one else looks at it, and you can feel pretty safe that you can feel safe that your emails will be dealt with privately there as well. I do check my home email address more frequently than I do the university address, but I have been working very hard to try to keep up with my university emails routinely as well. There also are phone numbers where you can reach me. For this particular course, you're going to be working out of 2 books, and I have a photograph of the cover of the text. Please be sure that you are working out of the right edition. This semester we'll be using the 10th edition of the James M. Henslin book, Essentials of Sociology: A Down-to-Earth Approach. Henslin has another larger textbook that is a hardback, I believe, that has a title somewhat similar to this, but it is different. So be sure that you have Essentials of Sociology: A Down-to-Earth Approach, 10th edition, as you begin to work this course. Most of the tests, in fact, that you'll have throughout the semester will be based on your readings in this particular course. Now, this textbook, I like Henslin, and I've been using his textbooks for a number of years. I've been teaching this course either online or face-to-face for over 20 years now, I believe, and I've used the Henslin text for most all of those classes through the various editions of his text, and I find him to be someone who has a real social conscience and someone who also has a friendly writing style. So I think you'll find material that might otherwise be very dry and somewhat detached from real life to come to life in his textbooks, and I think you'll find that he can demonstrate how sociology is really all around us all the time in our lives, and that's sort of a theme of mine as we go through this class. I want you to kind of be able to connect the theories and the things that you read about in this course with your real life, and to see how it plugs into what goes on in your life and how it impacts you. And I feel very confident that you will find that as the semester goes along. The other book that you're going to be working out of is a reader. Also, it's edited by James Henslin, but it's a collection of articles. He's written a couple of them in there that you'll be reading, but it's a collection of, 40 or 50 articles, which really kind of takes the theory and applies it in the real world. We will not be reading all of the articles in this textbook, but you'll be reading probably about half of them, this reader rather, and you're going to find this reader to be full of a lot of articles. You might even want to read some articles that you're not assigned. My students have, over the years, found this book to be a very, very worthwhile book to have on their shelf. So usually each week you'll have a chapter. Once or twice you'll have 2 chapters in the Henslin text, usually only 1, and then 1 or 2 readings from this reader. On occasion you'll also have a reading assigned to you off the web, and I'll give you the link to that, but generally speaking, most of your reading will be done from either this reader or the textbook. Now, your syllabus is posted online, and I encourage you to open that syllabus, download it, and print it so you have a hard copy of the syllabus with you. You'll notice on the course menu where the syllabus is that not only is the syllabus there for you to download, but also the syllabus is reproduced kind of section by section on that item, under that item in the Blackboard page. So please be sure to read all about this, read through it entirely. And if you have questions about the requirements, please contact me and I'll do my best to respond to them as quickly as possible. Be sure also to look at how it is that I kind of figure attendance and participation. Blackboard does record each time that you log into the course, and I get a report of that, so I know when the last time is you've logged in, and I get a report of how frequently you log in and those kinds of things. And so that information is part of what I'll use for attendance and participation, but largely attendance and participation is going to be based upon your engagement in discussion boards and in your involvement in your project group later in the semester, and also just and it's difficult for me to convey to you how I know this, but I can tell when students are engaged through their discussions, and so these are the kinds of things that will get you the maximum 50 points. In addition to the attendance and participation points, you'll have a term project, a written project that is worth 150 points. It's really the largest single thing you will do this semester, and this is they're going to do with other students. It's not something you're going to do alone. There will be then discussion boards after the term projects are submitted. I will post them in a discussion forum, and you'll have an opportunity to read each other's papers, and you can earn points based upon your feedback and participation in discussion forums based on the different topics that your classmates wrote about. There's altogether another 210 points that you will accumulate from comments made in your discussion boards and in what we call blog each week. Each week's discussion board is worth 10 points. And the blog is worth 5 points, and we'll talk a little bit more about them in a few moments. There are 7 tests throughout the semester. These are multiple choice tests, 20 question tests. And they're going to be worth 140 points. And generally speaking, they will come along every 2 weeks, in a semester. And so you will be tested over the reading in the textbooks for a 2-week period of time. And once that test is done, you move on to the next 2-week section and you get tested on that section and so on. So they're not cumulative tests, which on the one hand requires that you keep up with your reading if you're going to do well in the tests, but on the other hand also doesn't require you to continue to go back to that material later on in the semester, that you won't have to continually refer back to that older material that you've read. So this has worked out fairly well, and more about the test in a few minutes. And then finally, on some weeks there will be additional discussion boards. I think it is 5 additional weeks. 5 weeks there is a second discussion board in some of the topics that you will have an option to respond to, and if you do that, you can earn up to 10 points for each of those discussion boards. So those are pure bonus points, so that you can earn up to 50 bonus points in addition to the full points otherwise. And if you add all the points up, what you see is 200, 410, 460, 600 points plus 50 bonus points. Now again, the bonus points are over and above the 600 points. So if you miss a test, for instance, and you miss a 20-point test, so you lose the opportunity to earn those 20 points, you can pick up 20 points in bonus, and that kind of counts toward that 600 by responding to extra discussion boards. The grading scale is pretty standard, as you can see. 90 is above an A, 80 B, and so on. Grading scale will be based on 600 points total. Your discussion boards. Each week you will have 1 or 2 readings assigned from the reader, or a reading from the web. There will be a discussion board question posted that you should respond to, so that your posts in response to the discussion board question, which will relate to the readings in your reader, should be a minimum of 150 words long. If you want to write more, that's probably going to help you get more points. So each discussion board post, your original post plus, you're going to write your post of 150 words or more in response to the discussion board question. And the discussion board, if the reading opens on Sunday, and each Sunday a new learning unit will open up for the week, and so you'll have a reading assigned on that, 1 or 2 readings from the reader as well as the textbook assigned on that Sunday when it opens. You have the week to make those readings. By the following Sunday night, then, you should have your original discussion board post posted in Blackboard to the discussion board question based on the reading from the reader. Okay. Then you have 3 or 4 more days in which to go back into the discussion boards and read your classmates' posts, and to respond to at least 2 of them with a meaningful response. Now, your responses don't have to be 150 words long, but they should be something substantial. And if you look in the syllabus, you'll find examples of what I think are substantial and not substantial comments. When you post a comment on your classmate's post, you don't want to just say "I agree with you" and that's all, or "I don't agree with you" and that's all. But you really want to kind of, if you agree or disagree, or you have some other thoughts about what your classmate has said, whatever, then you write a little bit about that, and instead of just saying yes or no, you actually have something that you discuss with your comment. And some of your classmates may want to go back and even post responses to your responses to the original post of your classmates. So the discussion board forums have the capacity for you to what they call subscribe to your your discussion thread. And so if you subscribe to your post, you subscribe to the thread that's created when you make your discussion board post, you get email notices when somebody responds to your post. And so that is the thing that allows you to go back really and actually engage in a discussion with your classmates. So the reading opens on a Sunday. Your original post to the discussion board question should be made by the following Sunday night, and then you should respond to at least 2 classmates' posts by the Thursday after that. Okay, so you see here the dates that I have, and if you're wondering when the grades go in, what I will do, and you can get up to 10 points for your discussion board. That includes your original post plus your 2 responses. I will generally grade them the weekend after you have responded to the classmates' post. So for the reading assigned on February 4 on this page, I would most likely be reading them and grading them on the weekend of February 18, or that doesn't quite work out somehow, but you get the idea. The weekend after all the posts are made on February the 16th is when I'll be reading them. So that's when you generally will see your grades come in on those. If it's a little confusing to you now, you'll figure out the rhythm within a few weeks. So your original post and 2 responses this says to each of 2 readings. Occasionally there'll be 2 readings, but you usually only have 1 discussion board question to respond to. Again, in those weeks where there are 2 discussion boards, the second discussion board is an optional board that you can earn extra points on. So your original post and 2 responses to the readings will earn you up to 10 points each. And then you will also respond to a question in a weekly blog. And the difference between the blog and the discussion board is the blog is strictly between you and me, so that the other classmates don't read what you write there. This is something that you just write to me, and the questions are going to be largely associated with the larger topic for the week, and not just the reading and the reader. So that it would include material, thinking about material from the text as well as from the readings that you had in the reader or on the web. And what I'm looking for in the blog really is kind of a more personal response that you have, that you're having to the material or to the content, to the topic. Sometimes these things have a way of touching on things in our personal lives, and this is where I really would like to see you processing kind of what it means to you personally, what this material means. Again, those blog responses should be made by the Sunday night following the Sunday it's posted, so you have about a week to make your blog responses if they're going to be on time, and the post should be at least 150 words long. Longer is quite okay. Those blog posts are worth 5 points. So again, discussion boards are open to the entire class, and you'll be responding to each other's posts. Blogs are just between you and me. And you'll find ways into the discussion board and blogs in the weekly course content material, which we'll get to in a few moments. There's a pretty thorough description of how these posts earn points in this week's learning unit, and if you read through the different slides in the learning unit and how your posts will earn points. I believe there may also be a description in the syllabus, but there's also a kind of a more or less a permanent fixture on the course menu called Boards and Blogs Grading Guidelines that will again explain to you how you earn your points for the boards and the blogs each week. So read through them and let me know if you have questions. Your term project is worth 150 points, and in this particular topic, or this particular project, I'm going to assign a topic to you, and it is a topic that usually will have something to do with current debate, current issues in our society that connect into the readings the theories that you've been reading about during the semester. And you will be paired up with another student to argue one side or another of a controversial topic. For instance, a topic which could be or may not be one of the topics for this course would be, for your term project, would be should abortions be legal in the United States? And so 2 students are assigned to yes, 2 students are assigned to no, and the objective is for each of you, or for each side, to research pull the research up from the web that support the yes or no stance that you're assigned to. Now, you may be assigned to a stance that you don't agree with. You may be a strong right-to-lifer, but you may be assigned to research the yes side and to present an argument that is convincing that abortion should be legal. And so understand that the choice of topics and the assignment to yes or no will be done randomly, so no promises that you're going to feel okay about what you're arguing, but the point is that this isn't about your opinion. This is about research. And so there'll be more on this topic later on, but this is going to be the heart of the project. And I'm going to give you a group. Your group will have its own site in Blackboard where the probably 4 of you, sometimes 5, occasionally 3, will go to work on your project together, and you'll have your own private discussion boards and chat room, and you'll have access to each other's emails and things like that on that site. So you'll have a place to work together there. And this is intended to promote people getting to know each other a little bit, even though you are sitting at your desk at home, perhaps, or somewhere else, that you get to know something about some of your classmates and you work together. And you'll find out this project really is pretty engaging once you get going on it. One thing I want to say to you about this is, if you're a procrastinator, please do not wait till the last minute to look on your group site and start working on things, because your group members, your fellow group members, are going to want your input and your involvement all along. So please be sure that you work steadily on this project as well. Oh, by the way, when you're all done with this, you have 2 of you arguing yes, 2 of you arguing no. The 4 of you then put one paper together, yes argument versus no argument, and that's the paper that's given to me. So 4 of you produce one paper, which I then grade, but also then later on we'll post in a discussion forum, and your classmates will read your ungraded paper and will be able to comment on your debate in a discussion forum and earn points that way. And that's the response points we're talking about here. Testing, the tests will come in weeks 3, 5, 7, 10, 13, 15, and 16. They are marked in the syllabus. Each test covers 2 weeks material, multiple choice and true-false questions, 20 questions, each worth 1 point. So that altogether is 140 points. Now you will have opportunity to take this test twice each time. The test is timed once you open it, and this is all something in Blackboard. You don't have to get it proctored. You can have your textbook open if you want. It's an open book test if you want to do it that way. Just as long as you do your own test, that's the only thing that you need to do. But you have 30 minutes once you open the test, and the test will be available in the weekly course content when the day comes that it opens. When you open your test, you have to complete it within 30 minutes. You can't close it and come back later. And if you don't close it in 30 minutes, Blackboard will close it automatically for you. Or if you close it in 10 minutes, you will not be able to go back to that particular attempt at that test. And the grade that you have will be the grade you get. So 30 minutes to complete the test. If you're not happy with the score you get, you can go back and take the test a second time with the same restrictions, of course, on it. So you can take the test twice. You will get different questions the second time around. Blackboard will randomizes the questions and has a large pool they pull from, so you won't get the same questions the second time. But you can always try a second attempt if you're not happy with your first score. The higher of the 2 scores will be the one that is recorded in the grade center. And generally the test will open on Thursday, so that if the week 3 test, which covers the readings for weeks 2 and 3, will open on Thursday of week 3, and will stay open until a week from the following Sunday. So generally they're open 11 days, 10 or 11 days. Outside of that time period, you will not see the test in Blackboard, and it will not be available to you. So once the test is closed, your opportunity to earn those points will be gone. So be sure that you are aware of when tests open. There is this exam schedule, and also the again, the syllabus tells you when the tests are open as well. The exam schedule tells you when each test opens and when each test closes. So take a look at that. It's in the course menu. Remember again, don't miss those testing closing dates because you won't be able to take the test if you miss the closing date. There's a button in your course, your Blackboard course, that says weekly course content. And this is, if Blackboard would allow me to do this, this would be the one that would flash and shine and be bolded and highlighted, because this is the key button in your course menu. Every Sunday morning, right after midnight, a new learning unit will open for that week. And you will access that learning unit by clicking on weekly course content and then clicking on the week. And the week will open up, and in the weekly course content you'll find an introductory slide that I have written about the topic. You'll find next a slide that tells you what the course objectives are for the week. Then you'll have a slide telling you what your reading assignments are for the week. Next will be a slide with the week's lectures. I have a recorded lecture each week, and what I'm working on doing this semester, I'm redoing the lectures, and I'm going to be breaking them up into smaller pieces, so that instead of listening to me babble on for an hour or hour and a quarter, you'll have 2 or 3 30-minute segments, and people tell me that's just what students prefer. I don't know that it makes any difference, but in any event, so you may have several different lecture windows to open and listen to during the week. After that, and that again, this is in weekly course content, it's all available there. After that, you'll find a link to your discussion boards. You respond to the discussion board, you come back into weekly course content, you'll then find a link to your weekly blog, you respond to the blog question, you come back into weekly course content. There will be copies of the PowerPoint slides from the week's lecture that you can look at any time without sound, but it will be there as well for you. You can download them and print them if you want, whatever you prefer. And then usually there is and also if there is a test that week, the test will be in around this area, in around this section of the weekly course content, and then usually there's then a closing slide that kind of ties it all together. So each week in weekly course content, you should be looking for anywhere from 7 to 10, maybe even 11 separate screens that you need to look at. And if one of the things I've noticed is the discussion boards in particular sometimes take you away from the Blackboard page, and when you close it, it closes out the course, and so you need to go back into weekly course content to get the remainder of those slides. Don't miss these slides after the discussion boards. By the same token, please don't just go right into discussion boards by clicking on the discussion board link and not reading the weekly course content, because you'll miss all those important things that you need to know about what the readings are and everything if you do. So always start your course each week with the weekly course content button. There is in this week's content also a slide on etiquette, and this is a set of rules for behaving properly online. When we interact with each other on the net, we don't really have an opportunity to read each other's facial expressions or to see body language when we're talking to other people, and or that people are talking to us. And so, as you know, it's often very easy to misinterpret what's intended in emails because all of those signs aren't there with that communication. And so it's very easy to misunderstand another person's comments or to interpret them in a way they're not intended to be. So when you write things, always be respectful, always try to write things in a way that won't be misinterpreted. Remember that there are people in your course that may have different opinions, and sometimes your opinions, particularly when they are about groups of people or something like that, might actually include some of your classmates be in those groups. So keep that in mind. You won't know that, and so always be respectful in your comments. Remember that other people will read what you write, and they have feelings as well. Never threaten in a comment. Never make deliberately derogatory comments about other students. Those kinds of things, anything like that will cause you some problems in my class. And please try to be forgiving when other people do make mistakes. Read more about the etiquette when you go through this week's weekly course content. so for this week, you're going to start on a discussion board by writing a post of about 150 words or so that tells us a little bit about who you are. And this is sort of just an icebreaker discussion board, and it's an opportunity for you to tell other people who you are, what you like. In the olden days, it used to be what's your major and all that, and I don't know that you want to do that anymore. But tell us a little bit about who it is behind that name on the in the discussion boards we're going to be interacting with over the next 15 weeks. And there's some suggestions of the things that you might want to write about, but you can kind of take it wherever you want to. If you like to post photographs, I'd encourage you to do that. They make, and not only here but throughout the semester, because they always make posts much more interesting. But you're not required to post photographs. Of course, keep them appropriate. But if you want to, it's helpful sometimes to see pictures of the people that we're talking to. So if you've got some you'd like to post, we'd love to see them. So this post should be done by next Sunday night, and then by the Thursday after that, your fellow classmates, you should go back in and read your classmates' posts and respond to a few of them. One other thing before I conclude this lecture, I just want to make sure if you have not gone through the Start Here part of this course, click that Start Here button. You need to do that, and so please be sure you've gone back and go through the Start Here, as that covers some very basic things about Blackboard in this class. So as we go through the semester, one of my big themes is going to be that sociology is all around you, and when we go over these topics, now the first couple of weeks the topics are going to be kind of dry. It's going to talk a little bit about some of the important people in sociology and some very basic things about research and how that impacts the study of human beings and those kinds of things. But as a couple of weeks from now we begin to talk about the institutions in society, we're going to be talking about things that are much, I think that you'll find that relate much more directly to your life. And so as you read through the topic each week, kind of reflect on the subject and the readings that you're assigned, and look through your classmates' posts, those kinds of things, and kind of see if you can find a way that plug into your life, what it means to you personally. Those are some things I'd like to see you writing about in the blogs as well, of course, is how this connects personally to you. But really the themes that we'll be talking about throughout the semester are the themes that really relate to our lives on an everyday basis. Sociology is not just a set of theories. It's not a boring, dry subject. It is really about our lives and the kinds of things that shape us into the human beings that we have become. So if you pay attention to the readings and you listen to the news or you listen to the conversations that are going on around you at work or in class, you'll see that these topics are very much with you all of the time. So with that, I'm going to call this a week and welcome you again to the class. Please feel free to contact me through email whenever you have any questions. And if you want to test out our connection, just send me a greeting email. That'd be great. Go ahead and do that. Otherwise, remember each Sunday morning to check back into this course, and you'll get the learning unit with your assignments and lectures and all those other things associated with it. You'll get that on Sunday mornings each week. So welcome everybody, and we'll be talking more as the semester goes along. Bye for now.